Okay, so welcome everyone to the invasive species proposal series. I'm here with my collaborator, Gaja. Hello, Gaja. And she's calling in from Slovenia, and she is the creator side of our collaboration, and I'm the Eclipta Herbal side. My name's Alyssa Dennis. We're so happy to have you join us, and we're really happy to have Mariana Santos. And so I just wanted to say a couple things. I personally am calling from the indigenous lands of the Piscataway people in Baltimore, Maryland, and in the US. And the Invasive Species Creative Proposal Series is an ongoing program of international virtual lectures spanning several time zones, which represents various earth workers as necessary practitioners of the land. Our endeavor provides a collective platform to share our values and approaches to the work we do regarding holistic understanding and interaction with novel ecosystems. Our aim with these talks is to inspire others to become stewards of the land and to mutually share how our local actions with invasive plants might cultivate a larger movement to redefine current land management strategies. This series is kindly supported by ROOC, a network of art and culture research centers working at the crossroads of art, science, and technology. The project is co-financed by the Republic of Slovenia and the European Union, the European Regional Development Fund, and we also have a sponsor from the Baltimore Development Corporation. But also, if you would like to help this series to continue, this ongoing series, please just support our work, support the work of our presenters, and that will keep us going and keeping it free. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mariana Santos, who will share the magic behind her unique weed-based skincare brand, Herbes Folles. I hope I'm saying that right. I should have asked you.
Everyone said, after saying Herbes Folles, everyone says that, like, I hope I'm saying it right. Because it's a French expression, so it's not it's hard to say, actually, you know, even like to Portuguese, also, just for French people or French speaking people, not.
Will you I'll leave it to you to do the correct pronunciation if I messed it up. But
Herbes Folles.
This is a brand created to celebrate the power and resilience of our potent weedy allies, but also to demonstrate the important role these plants have in our ecosystems, which harbor a powerful source of nutrients, antioxidants that we can benefit from. So her brand of natural beauty means to embrace our own singular and unique beauty. This can be hard, especially for women and non-gender binary people, but it is a rebellious, beautiful, and needed exercise. Mariana's products are cruelty-free, vegan, and do not contain any palm oil, because we know the sustainability issues with palm oil. The products are also carefully formulated with high-quality ingredients to offer protection and balance to the skin. And Mariana is calling in from Lisbon, Portugal. She is passionate about skincare and how weedy plants that are often hated can offer us such beauty. She created her brand to specifically honor our weedy allies, their potent magic. She believes skincare should be pleasurable, ethical, and effective.
Very good. Thank you for presenting.
Thank you for joining us. Take it away.
Should I start the presentation?
Sure.
So here this is the logo of the brand, but is it? You can see it now, no?
Yes.
Yes. So the idea, this is a long story, the story of this brand. It started like when I was pregnant of my daughter, I decided to change life, and I started like I restudy. I took studies again on herbalism and cosmetic formulation. And then at a certain point, I was amazed by weeds. We were living in the countryside, and I was amazed by these plants, and also by the feeling that humans have regarding them. Because like the despise or the rage that people have regarding these herbs. It's curious, I think, like why? Because the only thing that they do is to grow without our consentment, no? And this bothers a lot. And one of the main reasons that I find maybe that why people don't value them is because they are so available, no? They are at every corner of our surroundings, they are growing everywhere, and we are used to them since always. And we can, I observe that commonness is not valued, no? Common things are less valued than rare things, even if they are not as needed or as useful for us than common things. So Herbes Folles translates to crazy herbs. That's why I choose this name. That's me happy. I choose this name because it's one of the only expressions that I found that speaks about weeds in a non-negative way, because it's so Herbes Folles or Herbes Folles, it's used to name weeds, but in a poetic way, because they are crazy. They have this, they grow in the interstices and they have their life. So I had desire to create something meaningful of my own, from which I could make a live from. I have an artistic education, and I had always precarious jobs. And on that moment of my life, I decided to do something that I really believed in. And with weeds, I actually found focus. I decided it's a really hard way to create a brand, and I'm still not very prepared to it, because I come from a totally different background. But it's also highly rewarding, also because I feel, and what I hear from people is that they are like the work that I'm doing with plants and with the communication of this brand awakens the look of many people to weeds, and that's one of my main goals was this, to honor weeds. So while studying, I've discovered an intimate and sensorial relationship with plants. Harvesting, tasting, and make medicine with, living closer to them, was the opening of a whole new world for me, and helped me open my eyes towards these green beings. I always lived in cities, so I really think like having an intimate relationship with plants, meaning study them, and even like simple things like being with them, observing, tasting, it really opens our body and our world to plants. And they are such, the curiosity they awaken, it's incredible. And I think plant-based skincare can really be something that sparks curiosity towards herbs and their healing power. Weeds are actually used in skincare for ages. There are many skincare brands using them in their products, but none makes that a statement. And one of my main goals was to use beauty to help change people's minds and ideas about wild plants. We know no herbicides, and this is one of the main reasons for this invasive creative series is exactly because there are still so many toxic ways to deal with spontaneous plants, although their toxicity is widely known. How come we humans, depending largely on all other beings and knowing our impact on Earth, are still using toxic products to manage our species? No, because they are not our. Instead of avid distraction, why don't we use these plants for our potions? So I decided the plants, this is the like illustrations of the plants we use in the products. I can poppies, wild carrot, plantain, nettles, chicory, purslane, St. John's Wort. It's all plants that are used for a long, long time in skincare and for other uses also. So we have nettles that have been used as food, medicine, and fiber for many, many years. They have this, they are maybe one of the most known herbs because of their stinging sensation they provoke. But they are full of medicinal properties. They have high minerals, vitamins. So they are very good for the skin. One of the things that I also believe is, so taking care of our skin is part of taking care of our bodies, no? So all of these plants are not only cosmetic, but also medicinal, and they should, or we can take them also orally, like we can eat them or making tea with them. Nettles are actually a very good plant to make tea with because as they are full of minerals, and minerals are, so they are extracted by water. An herbal tea is a very good way to take them. Then I also use elderberry, which is one of my favorite plants. It's a very common shrub, small tree. It's not really a weed. It's more of a, yes, it's a small tree, but they grow wild. And they have these beautiful white flowers that smell like honey, which are very good to make tea also, for respiratory infections and to enhance the immune system. They are great to take now during winter. And the berries, they also contain oil, which is, it's a beautiful oil, like it's very green. And it's particularly useful in the care of irritated and inflamed skin, with anti-inflammatory, regenerative, and antioxidant properties. It's great to drink and to do infused honey for oxymel. I don't know if you ever tried oxymel, but I just, I bought it now from a girl that I know that does it. And it's incredible. Like you infuse the honey with the flowers and the berries of the elderberry, and then you mix it with the vinegar and do experiences like with the amount of vinegar, the amount of honey. And it's very good to take now also, so before and during winter. We also use poppies, which is an herb. It's maybe the herb that people love the most because of the flowers. They are beautiful and they are a sign of spring. Like they are, yes, one of the first to appear when spring comes, and they are very beautiful. I mean, they are so delicate, and they can be eaten in salads or to make herbal teas also. What makes this plant good for skincare is that they are very good in mucilage, which is a substance that helps to attract and retain water, and it's very protective and nourishing for the skin. It also contains antioxidants and the anthocyanins, which are the pigments that give the poppies their vibrant color. They are very good to for this time of the year to treat coughs, and they are great for glycerites. This is it was one of the first times I used poppies. It was to make a glycerite, which is an extract with glycerin, So you put the petals in a mixture of glycerin and water. You leave it to infuse for a few weeks, and then it has this beautiful, vibrant red color. And you can use it. You can mix it with water and drink it, or you can use it in skincare products, because glycerin is one of the it's one humectant, which also helps to attract and retain moisture to the skin, and it's very used. So glycerin is usually, this is a like skincare wise, but glycerin is used very commonly in skincare products. And when you do extracts with this ingredient, you actually enrich the glycerin with the properties of the plant. Purslane was actually the plant that made me choose, like, purslane has a very important role in this story because it's very common in Portugal. We make there is a like this traditional soup that we make in Alentejo, the south. And me, I mean, when I started studying herbalism, it was something that I was always curious about plants, but I was very ignorant about it. So I didn't knew many plants. I mean, I as many people know, I used to look to a green patch of herb and I saw green. No, I wasn't able to identify the plants. And this was like studying them was a big shift for me. And purslane is one of these herbs that grows everywhere in Portugal. Like, yes, in cities and in the countryside. And then I had this friend that made the soup with purslane for me, and I was yes, amazed, because this discovering that the plants that grow on your side and that the plants you are used to see all the time are well, have a good taste, are medicinal, and are used for such a long time is, I think it's revolutionary. And one day I was studying the herbal book like this. I actually have it here. I used it to prepare this presentation. It's this book, like Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine, and I see purslane in one of the pages, saying that it was very used in traditional Chinese medicine to solve like skincare issues. And I was like, this is the same plant that grows here. And then I was like, oh, but this has like skincare properties. That's funny. And as I was also studying this skincare formulation thing, I thought, well, maybe I could use, I had to prepare a project to pass the grade, kind of, to be approved. And I thought, maybe I can use this plant, and maybe I can do a product like based on purslane. And then I started searching like for because I was already like, I had already this affinity with weeds, well, because I was discovering them, but also because what they represent, no, like the kind of the resistance or the rebellion that they represent. Yes, I feel a huge affinity with them because of this, no, because of how powerful they are and how defying. And this I find, yes, I love them for this. And then I started searching for other weeds that could also be used in skincare products, and I found out that many could, I mean, many, like a lot, even yes. So just for the curiosity, then I find Gaia, which makes a beautiful paper with Japanese knotweed. And this Japanese knotweed, I found out later, that can also be used for skincare. So a lot of the plants, like maybe, well, I don't know most part, because plants are, I mean, there are so many plants. But a lot of the plants that grow in our site can be used to treat our skin. Then I also use St. Johns Wort, and this is maybe one of the most well-known plants for skincare, because they are used for many years already. and they have like, you know, when you pick they are used to make an infused oil that is used for skincare. It's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, and it's also a very nice plant, because when you pick the flowers and you crush them in your fingers, there is kind of this, it's not really ink, but kind of a very purple deep ink that comes out of the crushed flowers. And it's another, it's something that enriches the relationship, I think, to be able, like what the flowers or the leaves or the stems or the roots or whatever provoke in us, no, or causes, or like what are the sensations that they cause us. Then we have plantain, which is also a very common plant. It's a very common plant, and it's a very common plant in skincare. They are used actually to treat the sting of nettles, which is like one of the first plants that I spoke about, because they are very soothing to the skin. They are very also, the leaves, I love to eat the leaves. They taste, I find very good, like a little bit like mushroom. And they are very good also for the lungs. I just quit smoking and I'm very proud of myself. And I use plantain, like the tea of plantain, to help me. Then we also use chicory, which is a very, very beautiful, it's beautiful, the petals of this, the flower. It's like I find a very curious plant, because it's like the stems are very rough, hard, and then the flowers are very, like most part of flowers, subtle. And it almost doesn't have leaves, so it's mostly the stem and then the flowers growing from the stem. At least that's, at first sight, that's what I see. The roots of chicory, it's a very bitter plant, and the roots of chicory are very rich in inulin, which is a prebiotic that our bacteria can benefit from. And we have bacteria everywhere, like we are more bacteria than human cells. So they are very important to maintain our health, the health of our gut, and the health of our skin. There are a lot of bacteria inhabiting the surface, our skin, and they protect us from infections and from bad bacteria also that cause problems. And this inulin feed the good bacteria. Yeah. Then we have wild carrot, which is also a very beautiful plant, but it's also very similar to many poisonous plants. So it's very important that we are sure that we are harvesting wild carrot, because we can die from some others that are very similar to this one. I have a friend, a very good friend, that says that yes, it's very important to speak that when you are harvesting plants on the wild, it's very important that you are sure of what you are doing and picking. But she says that, I mean, there are so many people die from so many things, like people dying from plants. It's really like a tiny percentage to say that plants are not dangerous. I mean, mostly. And this plant can be that can be used in also in many ways. The one thing that I love about it is the smell of the seeds. So if you crush the seeds between your fingers, the smell is very spicy. It's very good. And this plant is also used like in skincare for again for many times. It has an essential oil the inside of the seeds. That's why it smells so good. No, it's the essential oils, the volatile oils that give the flower its smell. I don't use the essential oil. I use the hydrosol, which is a much more mild, extract. How to say, like a much more mild, because it comes out of the plant also. So it's like a byproduct of the extraction of the essential oil, and it has the same properties that the essential oil has, but in a much lower percentage, because the essential oil is a very, very concentrated extract of a plant. It's like highly powerful. And we use the hydrosol, which has the same properties than the essential oil, then yes, but also the water-based properties. Essential oils, so they are very rich in oil-based properties, and the hydrosol, which is like a floral water, has the volatile properties and also the water-based properties, but in a milder way. Then we also use camelina. These are oils, rosehip oil and camelina oil. Camelina it grows usually in flax seeds, and that's why it's known as false or wild flax. And it was mainly used for food, textile production, and lamp oil for many, many years. The camelina oil is very good for the skin. This also I discovered in my researches. I never heard of this oil before, although it's a very common plant in Europe. And then rosehip, which I mean, it's very, very known. It's a great oil for the skin, but it's also a wild plant and has this name of dog rose, which can be an indicator of in comparison with cultivated garden roses, worthless. The berries are very rich in vitamin C. The oil doesn't have vitamin C because vitamin C doesn't dissolve in oil. But the berries are, and you can eat the berries if you manage to take out the hairs inside, which are very like it's not good to eat. And this was it. I don't know if you have any questions or comments or something about what I said.
Hi, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Gaia. Wait, maybe I'm gonna turn this on so you can see me.
Hi.
So you make skincare from that, right? What was really interesting to me was that I pick a lot of tea in like urban areas, and basically all of the things that you listed now is also on my list. And I'm wondering how you then take this knowledge further to make it into a product. How do you combine these things? In which form do you make these products? A bit about that, I'm wondering. How do you make a brand from that?
Sorry?
How do you make a brand and product from that at the end, from this knowledge?
Well, to make a brand is a completely it's a completely different thing. I mean, which I'm not very good at it apparently. I mean, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of marketing, which I'm not. I prefer the plants, and I would love to find someone to do the marketing for me.
Yeah.
But how do you? So one of the I like my process was to first choose the products that I would like to have, like that the brand sells, and I choose like 3 products that I consider that are like the basics of a skincare routine.
Okay.
To cleanse the skin, to hydrate it, and then to protect it, because everybody, I think everyone needs a lip balm. I mean, especially during winter. And after, like, I knew I wanted to do products for dry skin, types. So it's kind of, you make choices, and then because of your choices, there are things that you exclude. So I knew I wanted mainly oil-based products, because they are mild. Like, for example, an oil cleanser, it's much milder for the skin and much more indicated for dry skin than a water-based cleanser. And then to hydrate, it's important to have like oil and water. So I decided to make a product that has the two things in it. And then from there, I have to choose plants that have oil-based constituents and water-based constituents. So I knew, like, for example, plantain, it's a plant that, so one thing to know is that many of the plant constituents are water dissolved, let's say, that are extracted by water. That's why tea is a great way to benefit from the plants, because and we see like the color changes of the water in which the plants are infused, the taste changes, the smell changes. But there are plants that have oil, that have constituents that dissolve in oil. So I was looking for these plants. St. Johns Wort, it's one. And then there are oils made from wild plants, like this camelina or rose hip. It's also a wild plant. So I was. Is it clear? Like, am I answering your question?
Yes, I understand. You basically applied herbs to the like results that you wanted to have. What I'm wondering, what kind of like carrier materials did you use? Carrier, you know what I mean by that? I don't know if I'm saying correctly. Okay.
Yes. So for the oil extracts, we use like an inexpensive oil, no, like a sunflower oil.
Yeah.
But you can use like olive or almond or something that doesn't cost you a lot of money, and that is stable, because as the plant is going to infuse in the oil for some time, it has to be a more stable oil. And then for the plant extracts, for the water-based extracts, as I said, do you remember like the glycerite? So it's usually glycerin in water. So let's say like 80% of glycerin and 20% of water, or something like this. And then you infuse the plant in this mixture, and then you strain. You strain the plant material from the mixture. And yes, glycerin usually.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was very, because it was all silent during my talk, like very silent and I was not seeing your faces, so it was like, oh my God, am I seeing like,
I know, yeah, it's super weird. I tried to turn on my camera, but I don't think it's working, because this must be weird talking to a void.
It
must be quite weird.
I was only seeing the names in myself and hearing myself. Oh my God. I think it's one of the first time that I did something similar was like making a pitch for a project, making a pitch of the brand. It was also like, I was so nervous, my God. But like this story is because I really wanted to make something different with this brand, like yes, and to don't do, because beauty is also an industry that is very like full of a wrong message from my point of view. It's like the amount of advertisements that we see to reduce wrinkles or for me it's like, oh my God. And I really like, what my goals is to make something different. Yes, because I think this communication is harming people so much. No, like yes, and it's like unstoppable. Like you are not enough. Like you are never enough. No, you are like the wrinkle is there, or you should I don't know, like be you should always be different. No, we have this society that tries to put the thought on you that you are not enough, beautiful enough, or something enough.
Yeah, which I think is such a beautiful contrast to using plants that are often so hated by people simply because they are common and
Exactly.
sort of, sometimes in people's way, or yeah, so it's like a beautiful poetic part of your business, which I think is so great to have in a business and in a business model, which is just not very common. So yeah. And I thought you would show some of your products, but I have some here. And
yes, it's true. It's true. You have them.
they don't just, like this one is porcelain in St. Johns Wort, but there's way more plants in here than that. There's so many other ones, and this beautiful oil that I think that red is really from that St. Johns Wort. So you can see, but yeah, lovely, beautiful products.
No, it's yeah, it's highly rewarding because I see people there. I mean, there are some people discovering, like let's say green poetry. Like we also did like an herbal. I mean, the ambition that I have for this brand is huge, but I'm for the moment I'm like mostly alone, so I cannot do everything. No, but I would like to I don't know, to do herb walks like regularly, to do books, to to do so many things that don't have only to do in skincare, no, that are broader than skincare. This is but also this teaches me also to have patience, to be patient with life. I mean, it's like I cannot do everything at the same time, let's say. And plants also teach me. I remember when I was living in the countryside, when this idea was born, like the soil teaches you a lot of patience also, because you plant. I was planting things also, and you plant the seed, and then I remember to be like, okay, when when is it coming out? And it takes time, and it doesn't take a lot of time, but it takes time. And the plant to emerge from the soil, from the underground, and to become aerial, it's a whole journey. So I think plants teach you also to be patient. Yeah, it's a journey. It's a big journey, like from the moment I started studying them, and now what I really like is that the curiosity is never ending. Yeah, and I mean, it's like huge. It's a huge universe to be in love with.
One question for you, Mariana, because somehow I feel aligned to what you do, in a sense that you're trying to push this wheat story, beautiful wheat story, through some sort of a environmentally conscious business, let's say. And I'm wondering, like, on your side, what would you consider like one of the major challenges to do a business, actually, or how are you taking the steps towards those challenges?
So one of the major challenges, I think, it's like the noise. No, it's that there is so much noise well, in the beauty industry, there are a lot of brands, no? And you have to be, I don't know, you have to always be present. I think there is, and I don't like it, but in the business, like in the business world, let's say, you have to always be in people's mind, and this is very, very tiring, and I hope this changes. I don't know, like sometimes because this is not sustainable somehow, you know, to even not to I have a lot of issues with business, a lot, like, because if I really follow the business, let's say the business line, you have to, like, in social media, and you have to always be present in social media, which means what? You don't have time for you have to documentate your life. What does that mean? You know what I mean? And yes, I think like we are in such an accelerated world that it's difficult to maintain for me, like it's very difficult, like to run a business. Yes, it's difficult. But okay, so sometimes I disfocus completely. Well, yes, one of the major challenges, it's this, no, and it's also like I have the impression that you have to have a financial capacity to hang on the first years, which are difficult. And this is hard. I mean, I'm not rich, and I cannot make a living from this business yet. Although it takes me a lot of time, so I mean I have to juggle with this. Also, it's like a single person thing, and I think a business or a company should have more people, also to think, you know, to apply things, because I'm not, I don't know, I have my good points, but I also have my bad points, and I'm not good at doing everything. And yeah, this is a big challenge. And I think a lot of small businesses are one person projects. Yeah, I think these are the main challenges. And then regarding the weeds thing and the weeds and the skincare, I had recently a conversation, and someone was like, yes, but I mean, it's a beautiful idea, but you have to change the communication. And me, I was like, what? But because if I change the communication, I mean, it's no longer very interesting, you know, because for me, at least, you know, that's what it makes the thing interesting, you know. It's made with weeds, and the weeds are beautiful, and but he was from his point of view, as I don't have like a million or 1,000 euros to invest in marketing, and people's like the first thing that comes to people's mind when they think about weeds is like or you know, like this I should change. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking maybe we should start some sort of a weedy cooperative or something.
Weedy what? Weedy what?
Cooperative.
Yes, I would love that. Yes, like an international weedy. This would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what we're doing right now?
Yes.
Starting up.
I also just wanted to mention, well, I have a question, and but also so many of the plants that you work with, the weedy plants specifically, the plantain and the purslane, I just love that you're making skincare, because these plants are basically skincare for the soil. They're
Mhm.
you know, they're broadleaf plants, and they bring moisture back to the soil when it's dried out, and you know, when the microbial life is low. And so it brings moisture back so that other microbes and other life can start surviving in the soil from damage done or from drought. Or so it's doing, what it's doing for the land is doing what it's doing for our skin. And so I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because you can also think about I mean, at least the skin is surface, no? So it's we can think about the skin as the land of our bodies. I don't know, or the land as the surface of the planet. Well, I don't know, but maybe there is a beautiful metaphor that we
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
find.
I see the soil as the skin of the earth, because there's, there's so many layers, but that soil is really has so many functions for us. But then my question is do you actually harvest and process the plants yourself, or where does that mainly take place? Or
So no, it's not me. I work with a company. I don't do the products. I'm not good in. I'm like, I can make the products for me, but like in a larger scale, or I don't know. I'm always afraid of. I'm not very precise. So I always put a little bit more of this or of that. So it's more like a spontaneous process, which doesn't combine with the skincare brand, let's say, or with the brand. No, you have to, like, it's more precise. So no, I work with the company that makes the extracts is Swiss, and they are actually a very good company. They have like a lot of their ethics are very good, so they look to environmental, human, all these criteria. They look at it when choosing a supplier, no, and because they are in Switzerland, so of course the work conditions are great, no, work conditions, and they have a lot of things in place to ensure that everything is in place. But suppliers from other parts of the world, maybe not, and they have a really, really good system in place to be sure that everything is sustainable, let's say, for humans, for animals, for the land. And they source, like, the plants that I use come from Europe, so from places like Montenegro or Serbia, so countries that are less industrialized, and they are wild harvested. Yes, so it's not me doing it. I would need a lab, and no.
I think that's a good business move.
Yeah, especially when I'm not good at it. No, I'm not. Like, I know I'm not.
Does anyone have any other questions for Mariana?
Maybe I'm just wondering, like, what's your next project or your next step or something?
We were speaking about, well, I want to continue this, and I want to, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 more products. I would like to have a sunscreen, and so something that I also consider very essential. But as we were speaking before, I would like to launch a book. And I would love to do a book about it's not really about, so it's to do a book to help people build a relationship with the plants next to them. So this is something that I would really like to do, because I know it's uncommon, no, like people having or still uncommon, because it's changing also, and I think it's so important, like for the relationship you have with the planet, with everything. I mean, for the relationships you create with things, no, to expand your relationships. I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, I agree that it's absolutely part of a sustainability model, if there is ever one, is to know your own environment, and to each person being able to do that in some capacity is really what's gonna actually, I don't really think it's, I mean, I think there's implementation of larger groups and government policies and things like that that are very important too. But I really think it's absolutely a grassroots, from the ground up, from individuals, because we are the ones making the choices to what we buy and what we don't. And yeah, so if we just
what I think it's like because I'm seeing and hearing and watching and lots of stuff. And there is this, it makes me cry, like this, the relationship that people, like, how is it possible that we created such a toxic world? No, it's not only toxic, no, and it allowed us a lot of things. No, we have like this huge, not everyone, but at least a part of the population managed to have a lot of comfort, no, and ease in life, but at the same time at the expense of a lot of things, like, and of a lot of life, no. And this is I mean, it is impossible, no, we are seeing it is impossible, and it has to change, yes. And I think, like, if it changes emotionally, you know, maybe the change is easier. Is it? Yes. Yeah.
yeah, as long as it's done collectively with a common, thread, which is really what this whole series is about. I know we only have 6 more minutes with you, so.
And there is someone, Lei, I don't know how to spell it. Can you please just list your presentation? Can I attach the presentation? No. Is it that, are you seeing it?
Oh, okay. I guess yeah, I mean, or we can just list some of the plants that you talked about. I think.
I can write it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think this is one of the, just to sort of tie this all together, that yeah, it's all about, I mean, healing the planet, healing ourselves, healing community is really just about how we stay involved with the non-human life around us. And you know, this group specifically focuses on plants, and yeah, so, but yeah, thank you so much for your presentation and bringing this to the table.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and for being there.
Yeah, and if you want to find and purchase Mariana's products, we'll have a link with the recording. But even if you want to put it in the chat right now, Mariana, just a link to your website, how people can follow you and your products. But again, if you want to continue to support this project, the series that we've been doing, please support our work. We are doing this for free to make sure that it's open to everyone. And we really work hard to do that. So, and next we have coming up, we have feral invasive plant pigments with Irons, and that will be in January. And then we're scheduling more coming up. So the recordings are always available. Those will be sent in an email. They're offered on YouTube. So we already have, with this one today, we have four recordings that are available. So as long as we have the energy and the capacity, we will keep turning these out. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana.
Mariana, it was nice.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.